Good morning, everyone. You are through to the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. And what a great show we're going to have for you today. We're going to be having our special guest, the one and only Joe Leavy, the man with the silky, smooth, jazzy, soulful voice. But before we meet the man himself, let us talk about some housekeeping rules. If you like, share and subscribe to Magnet Radio on YouTube, then you'll be able to click onto the notification bell, just the bell in the corner, and you'll be able to get all the notifications. Oh yes, of the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. And you'll be able to view all, oh yes, all of the wonderful artists I've interviewed so far. Glorious. It has been incredible. Right across the board. Sensational. What a wonderful time we've had so far. Oh, in the background, oh yes, we have Emotional with Lance Van Tal Whitfield. And Adassah is feeling quite emotional today when she meets Joe Leavy. I'd like to say good morning. Oh yes, good morning to all the Magnet Radio crew. Good morning, Magnet Radio. Later on today at 2 o'clock, we have Mr. Magnet with the Reggae Time Show. After that, 4 o'clock, we have Calcutta with some hip hop, R&B with the Saturday Vibe Show. At 6 o'clock, we have the industrial man himself, Remington Steele, with the Remington Steele Show. At 8 o'clock, we've got Sterling Reigns. Oh, yes, Sterling Reigns bringing you some break beats and some Afro beats and Amo Piano. What an electrifying show he has for you. And then we wind down. We might even hear a little bit of Joe Leavy then. Oh yeah, we have our jazz and soul man, and that is none other than our newcomer that started last week, Al Seaforth. So that is our lineup for today on Magnet Radio. And what a glorious time we had yesterday on Magnet Radio. Oh yes, with the lunch and brunch show. It was a special edition. Love was in the air with DJ One from 10 until midnight at 2 o'clock, midday at 2 o'clock. We had Soul Town. Oh my goodness. Electrifying. Soulful house. Afro house. Latin house. All sorts. Amazing Soul Town. And then in the evening, we had our independent reggae man, the king of independent reggae. That is Boozadelic. Oh, yes. And Tuesdays, we have Boozadelic again with the Boozadelic Funk Universe from 10 until midnight. And at 8 until 10 p.m. to just have our pulses racing. We have the none other than the queen. We have to crown her as queen because she's been number one so many times. Ruth Ferguson, my sister, Ruth Ferguson on Magnet Radio. More and more are coming. We're going to be getting some more. We're going to be getting Empress Gem. We're going to be getting Larry. Oh, love, we're going to be getting some more and more. So watch out for Magnet Radio. Quality over quantity on this platform. Only the best that enjoy themselves, and sprinkle it with lots of love and professionalism just for you one classy station we have with Kings and Kings. Oh, yes, we do indeed on Magnet Radio. We're going to be going on to the latest single from Carlos Budford, You Wanted Out. Oh, yeah. Playing in the background while we'll get warmed up for Joe Leavy.
Lord knows I tried everything, girl. Stayed out the streets and even bought a ring. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how we do it on the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. Each and every Sunday on Magnet Radio. And if you want to call in, you can call in. You can actually call in, or you can type a message on YouTube, and I'll be able to pick it up. Our admin team will pick it up and respond on behalf of us in the show. Oh, yes. So the studio number, let me put the volume down. Studio number is, I'm catering for all our international brothers and sisters now. So UK brothers and sisters, interpret it. Just put the 0 ahead of the 7. So on behalf of the international brothers and sisters, we'll do plus 4477 4962455. I repeat that. That's plus 4477 4962455. That is our studio number that you can find with all our shows. You can send a message on WhatsApp, and if you want to join our WhatsApp group, just send a message and say, please add me, Magnet Radio, and we'll be able to add you onto the group WhatsApp, and then you'll be able to get all the updates, what's going on Magnet Radio at your fingertips, so you don't forget, because we understand you got busy lives. Oh yes, and you just need a little reminder every now and then. Oh yeah.
You want it out. Oh girl, I can't believe that you want it out. You want it out. You want it out.
Good morning going out to also Soul City Radio, where my show on a Friday is syndicated on that platform, and also to Silk Radio, where I am on the panel with all their musical sound clashes. So good morning going out to you all. And finally, before we meet the man himself, we're going to be playing a little bit of Cloudy, the new single from Cutchfield and Jones. Oh yeah, let's play it. Go and get it on all digital platforms. You can get it anytime. Go and get it now.
You take aim, you fire away, you pierce my heart. not in the mood.
Fire, baby.
Seems like I want you home, but ain't no sunshine in the room when I'm all alone. Oh, when we talk and disagree,
it's always better to catch the show live. But for our international brothers and sisters, oh yeah, you can also catch up with the recorded show on the same link. We'll be putting it out there all the time, but you can use the same link. That is the magic. Use the same link and you'll be able to catch up on the recording, but live. Hey, what's better than live?
war in our eyes. The night seems like it's falling. I hate when sometimes I'm not in the mood. Seems like I want you gone, but ain't no sunshine in the room. Oh, when I'm all alone. Ooh, when we talk, disagree. My whole world is cloudy. Emotions run high. Emotions are high.
A big good morning going out to Janet from Wolverhampton. Janet, good morning. Going out to you, my darling. Oh, you have been with Adassah every step of the way. Love you to the max, Janet. Janet, oh, my faithful listener. She goes everywhere I go. Any platform I go, Janet is there. Oh, I tell you, we've got some real supportive, loyal listeners out there. I'd like to thank all of you listeners, all of you, every one of you that have subscribed to the platform, and share it to all your family and friends. Share the love. Let them know all about Adassah at Large on Sunday show, because this is the platform where risen, I should say, stars shine. They are shining bright like a star. You're going to have to wear your shades. Hey, and before we meet the man that wears a lot of shades and has some beautiful hats, I've got to ask him about his hats, because these hats, I'm telling you, there's some stylish hats Joe Leavy has. And I'm going to show you one of the songs that made me fall in love with his voice, with his music. I'm telling you, this song gives me goosebumps. And straight after, I'm going to be chatting up Joe Leavy and asking where we get all these lyrics from. This song is amazing. I tell you, this is one of my favorites by far. Whew. This is Inside You. If you've never heard it before, you're gonna hear it now. Beautiful.
There is healing, oh baby, inside. I often wonder if you're magic. When you come around, I can't help myself. Those things you do got me addicted. I don't want no help. Your way is really fresh and lovely. May I have a taste of your sweet love? The more you give, the more I want, baby. I just can't get enough. I only see you wearing nothing, baby. You take me to a very special place. Inside of your love, baby. Inside of you. There is strength and so much more. Inside of your love, baby. Inside of you. I can't wait to love you more. May I open up your garden, sample all your love and sweet. That's the reason we came here, baby, to fulfill each other's needs. Where you ride my love in motion, that magic moment will be found. It will be found. Girl, I'm deep into your music. I love the way you sound. Love the way you sound, yeah. Don't be shy, that's just nature, baby. That's the way you love when you feel free. Oh, keep on loving me, I can take it, girl. I can take it. You are my favorite place to be. Your feelings when you think about me. Sometime, baby, remember we made love in that twilight. Yes, we did. Your name standing out within your arms, baby, you love me. Sometimes I just tired of
Good morning, Joe. I caught you off guard there.
It's all good.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good for 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know. Oh, wow. I am well, thank you. I am very well. That song, Joe Leavy, I'm sure you get many people saying that's one of their favorites, because that is definitely one of Adassah's favorite.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Adassah.
Yeah, that gives me goosebumps every single time. It never wears off. I'm just like, wow, that just goes right into my soul, right into my core of my soul, that song. Wow. And that song is actually how I got introduced to you. That's when I knew all about Joe Leavy and started researching and listening to more and more and more of your music and realizing, wow, you have got a great portfolio.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot coming from you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely amazing. Pure talent. Pure talent. And you lived abroad. You lived in Japan for how many years? It was a lot of years you lived in Japan working.
Almost a decade.
Wow. What was it like performing and working in Japan?
It was amazing. It's a beautiful experience. I love Japan. It's a great place to live and work.
And what year, what decade was that? What years was that?
I moved there in the early '90s. I went. Let's see. I was there from '94 until 2004.
Till 2004. Wow. Absolutely amazing. And you returned back to the US because of family commitments, didn't you?
That's right. I came back to raise my daughter. I got custody of my 11-year-old daughter, and they wouldn't allow me to bring her to Japan, so I had to bring all my Japan family and come to America and start from ground zero.
So you was a single dad for a while.
No, I was married. I had a wife and two other children in Japan. Um,
Okay.
my daughter was by a previous relationship, and
Mhm.
we were in a vicious custody battle, which actually led me to go to Japan because it was getting kind of crazy between my daughter's mom and I. We were really having a very acrimonious custody battle, and turns out I needed to leave the country, and I left. Didn't intend on staying, but one thing led to another, and I met a beautiful lady, and we had two other kids, and I ended up living there for 10 years.
Oh, that's beautiful. Never give up. That's testimony. Never give up on love.
Mm, indeed.
N- Never give up on love, no matter what the experience is. It's just an experience, and use it to make you big. Love more, be more wiser, and just give the love and receive it accordingly. So, oh, that's beautiful. I'm so happy for you that it worked out all in the end.
It certainly did. It was a great season. Um, we spent 23 years together, and we're no longer together, but we're very good friends, and we raised our family and are still very, very close friends.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Do you know, it, it you know, this I wasn't going to play it yet, but I think it's the right timing because I just go with the flow on this platform within reason. I just go with the flow. And I have one of your songs. Oh my goodness. Tears came to my eyes. It really did hit an emotional spot for Adassah. It really did. I tell you, your music does hit some spots, different for Adassah. But this one is called Hurt People. Tell us a little bit about Hurt People.
Well, let's see. Hurt People came at a time when I was deeply depressed. Um, at the time, I was really going through some personal battles with my own, some people in my dad in particular. I didn't know that that the reason for our issues was he was sick he was in the beginning stages of a debilitating disease. He had dementia, and this was the beginning stages, and I didn't know.
Mm.
And our relationship took a really turn for the worse, and it really affected me. And I was in a pretty dark place. I was really depressed, and it was actually my ex-wife who encouraged me to go into the studio and start letting some of my anger and and pain out in music. She thought that would be good for me to do, and it turned out it was. Hurt people came from that, and it just draws on, you know, the times, especially here in America, where people are so angry and they're so violent, and they have guns and stuff here, and people get seriously hurt. And so it's a universal thing. Pain is universal. It's something that affects everyone. Doesn't matter if your ethnicity or your station, or um, pain and woe is Satan's universal tool. And we just luckily I had the armor of praise to cover me and redeem me from that spot that I was in. So I wrote a song about it, and it's called "Hurt People."
This song, I tell you, the message in this song, it really does cut deep, because it's true what you're saying. Hurt people do tend to hurt people, literally.
Yeah,
And it's like they want comfort. Everybody needs comfort, they need understanding. But then when they're projecting out this frustration and this hurt on somebody else, then they're not solving no issues. They're just creating an environment which magnifies even more hurt.
absolutely. And unfortunately, especially in our community, people don't deal with the trauma.
Mhm. Mhm.
At times, we use the church to deal with trauma, and although church is a good thing, it sometimes church isn't enough. You
Yeah.
have to get to the Creator and find a way to get that healing, internally. And it's not easy for some. Um, the devil comes to kill,
Definitely.
steal, and destroy. And if you don't have the armor, if you don't have the covering, or you don't know the person that I know, uh,
Mhm.
you can fall victim to that. And certainly, I wasn't immune to the attacks.
Mhm.
My children aren't immune to the attacks. But by the grace of God, we've been able to stand strong in those times, and that's the difference. I feel between successfully navigating those times and not. It's having the navigator with you, and the Lord has been with me my whole life. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to uh, get through those times and not perpetuate that,
Mm.
um, to
Oh,
put an end to
yeah.
it myself. And I think my family was better off. I know I certainly was, and my family certainly is. So all praises to the Most High for healing and redemption. And were it not for the Lord, I don't think I would have made it through those times.
Definitely. Most definitely. Um, the Lord does give us strength, and the God does put people in our lives, put professionals in our lives. That He gives us all a gift. You have a gift of singing, and I'm sure you have loads more other gifts that we'll touch on throughout the show. But He also puts professionals there for reasons. They're there for a reason. So on top of prayer, still do your prayers, still do everything. But listeners out there, if you're hurting, please seek professional help. You
Yep.
can still add your prayer, but still, please seek professional, trusted. Of course, go to a trusted source, trusted professional help, because you projecting and draining somebody else is unfair on another individuals. There's only so much an individual, you cannot expect them to carry all of that for you, all that hurt and pain for you, and you project it onto them.
I couldn't agree more.
I'm going to play it. I'm going to play Hurt People. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is so talented, so creative, and puts all different situations into positivity, into music for all of us to enjoy and gain some understanding and wisdom from it. This video, this song, listen.
That's my neighbor with a hand on a gun. He's tired of feeling beat down. He's got nowhere to run. He lost his job today. He don't want to go home. He wants to hurt somebody. He wants to hurt someone. You better call the police. Yeah. Did you hear me? See, hurt don't know no left and it knows no right. No, and it sure don't care about black, it don't care about white. And hurt won't stop touching you, it won't stop touching me. Yeah, who hurt people live in chains, the hurt won't set us free. Yeah, it's been said that a day to God is like 1,000 years. Yeah, if I heard 10,000 days would have shed 10 million tears. Yeah, hurt people wanna feel the light, but they can't see the sun. Ooh, hurt people wanna get it over, so the hurt is done. Hurt people we can live without it, we can try and break free. Hurt people just like you, hurt people just like me. Yeah, hurt people just like me. Yeah. Wanna feel the sun. Hurt people wanna get it over, so the hurt is done. Hurt people, we can break the cycle. We wanna be free. Hurt people just like you. Hurt people just like me. That's your neighbor with his hand on a gun. He wants to hurt somebody. He wants to hurt someone.
Wow. Wow. deep. That's deep, Joe.
Thank you.
All I, all I can say is anybody out there hurting, we understand. We have empathy. Some of us have sympathy because we've gone through the same. But please get the help that you need to get and don't pass on that hurt onto somebody else. Please do that for your sake, for your well being, as well as others' well being. Because part of increasing your well being is to show kindness and love to others.
Couldn't agree more.
Joe Leavy, wow, what an incredible artist. Hey, I just love all your music, and you're just so energetic on social media. You're there. Oh, it's wonderful to see you. It's wonderful. And there to see you in Japan as well, because you returned to Japan a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Indeed, yes, I did. A wonderful trip.
So, what was that tour all about? Where was you playing?
We had several shows throughout the country. We
Mhm.
also shot the video with my collaborator Steve Hanneman, who lives in Japan, and we needed to support the new record, "Let It Go." That's on the album. It's a new single that's actually out right now. It's a jazz number.
Mhm.
Wanted to get together and do something to support that record, and it was just good getting back to Japan after 19 years of not being there, and just realizing once again what it is that I love about that country and the people and the food and the atmosphere. It was very helpful for me to be back there and have 2 weeks of no stress, no seeing no news, no negative television, no
Yeah.
mass murders, no stuff that goes on every day in our country. That is just it's like living in hell. It really is. It's a very stressful and very ugly existence here. Um, People have lost their minds, and we don't have
Mm.
the unity and the love for each other like the Japanese. And being in that country around that type of order in that type of stressless society was just very, very good and very uh, helpful for me. It reminded me of what it was that I loved about being there so long. So I'll be spending a lot more time in Japan going forward.
Oh, beautiful. And what do you think? What do you think? Is one or two factors why there's such a breakdown in unity in our community?
Um, because it's profitable. Hate is a for-profit industry in our countries. Division is a for-profit industry. It's how these particular countries operate. You see, if you have unity and people are not segregated by race and religion and ethnicity, and you install a sense of countryism and sense of statehood in every individual, then it doesn't become about black or white or left or right. It becomes about wrong or right. And that's exactly what we can't focus on because we're divided and it's intentional. Um, in my country, we have 5 families that own more wealth than the entire nation combined. That's not a nation. That's a corporation, and it's a business decision, and that's what you have. And in order to keep that kind of disparity in full flourish mode, you have to divide the people, and that's why we're black and white and Latino and Asian and European. We're not countrymen, and they're going to make sure that we stay that way because if we were to come together, then we can put the focus on where it really belongs and change things. And change isn't profitable. So it's just different when you don't live in a place where people have a sense of nationhood and belonging. And that's what goes on in our nations. It's very profitable to keep the status quo and the rich get richer the poor get poorer and the middle class disappears. And that's what's happening, in my opinion.
Yeah, there is that going on actually. Even in the UK, the rich are getting richer. The poor is not even poor anymore. It's becoming more like a underclass,
Yes. And
you
same,
know?
this is the one of the richest nations in the world, and we have hundreds of thousands of human beings homeless, living in the streets tonight, living out here in the rain in mud holes and inside of the street in tents. And these are families and mothers and children and people that have to make a decision about eating or paying for a place to live. It's that kind of place, and there's no there's going to come a time when when the people have had enough of that. And so you see our governments, militarizing the police and, getting all these smart weapons and ways that they can defend themselves when the people finally decide that they've had enough. And we kind of had a look at that about a year and a half ago when people stormed our Capitol. That was what was happening. And they want to frame it a different way. They want to blame one guy. But that's the kind of insurrection that they have to put down. And they're going to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again by any means necessary. Because once the people wake up, it's a different thing, and it's just the way that of a few nations. All nations aren't like that. Japan is different because it's for the Japanese. You're not. That's the place I lived where I didn't feel black. I'm just a foreigner, and it doesn't matter what your melanin content is. If you're not Japanese, you're a foreigner. And I loved that aspect of being there for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
I went through some of the most harrowing moments of my life, like being there during the 1995 Hanshin earthquake, 7.8. And it was harrowing and horrifying, and a lot of people died, and there was mass destruction. And the love and the calm and the way people supported one another. There was no looting. There was no hoarding. There was no stealing. And it was an exhibition of human greatness, the kind that I've never seen before. And the love that was extended was not only extended to their citizens, but to me as well and my family. So it is possible. There are places on this planet that understand that, nations are for the people that live in them. That isn't what's going on in America, unfortunately.
Wow. It's really deep. And plus, we've got the last couple of years, there's been a lot of press with the US, with all sorts going on. That's really stirred up a lot of discussion, a lot of questions. What is going on? On the road, in the institutions, with the individuals. I won't go into details of specifics, but just generally, like what is going on? Because we just look at some of these footages with horror and think, why? Why? It's absolutely senseless.
Well, it is. And if you get people to turn on each other, they don't address the real problem. They miss, you're not addressing those responsible. And in my country, there are more guns on the streets than there are people to pull the triggers. We have 360 million Americans. There are 400 million guns in our country. So and there's no end in sight. As long as citizens are shooting and killing each other and not government officials, everything is fine. And that's how it goes. It's a lawless place right now, and it's not a place that I envisioned. It's turning into exactly what you would dread when you see young people and old people and being shot down and gunned down on a daily basis, and mass murder and children and grandparents and girls and boys being, murdered routinely. It's like it's not a video game, but it almost feels like it is here. it's just a different place.
Do you
And
think do you think there's any change from the times of Martin Luther King?
well, yeah, there's change. It's gotten worse.
Mm,
Martin was a peace lover, and the government killed him. So anytime that there's any kind of leaders in the community, no matter what they're speaking, the same result. Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Colin Kaepernick, Kanye West, Bill Cosby, you name it. Anytime someone, tries a Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, the list just goes on and on and on. Black Panthers. Anytime people try to step up and make change and lead the nation in a positive way, they're murdered or humiliated or, called crazy. They did it to Dave Chappelle. They did it to Kyrie Irving. It's the nature of capitalism. It's the nature of the five families that run the country, that own everything, that own the media, that own the radio stations, they own the narratives, and the people don't. And so when you are constantly being told you're different or you're separate or you're better or you're worse, it creates self-loathing, and that's what we have in America. And again, it's by design because it's very profitable to a very select few. You know, there's no help for the people here. If you get sick and you've got any resources, you have to use them to either heal yourself. And obviously, that leaves a lot of families destitute and in despair, and that's the American way. So we have a lot of work to do here. There's no leadership. Uh, we have the same people in government for decades and decades and decades. They're entrenched. Um, the government is owned by corporations now, and that was made legal. So there's really no chance for the people to redeem themselves and take it back because it's been sold. And that's the way they want it. They want to have, billionaires and broke people. And the world doesn't work that way, but it's exactly what it is. And it's getting much more worse. There are more and more billionaires, but there are also hundreds of thousands of people now living in the streets. And it's called capitalism, unfortunately. And
Yeah,
that's
because I do see it, the rich, I have nothing against that, being financially secure. But then it comes with, I'm just talking generally, just generalizing. It comes with certain attitudes like, if I can make it, you can make it. I'm blessed, you're not blessed, kind of thing. Oh, yeah, you're lazy, you haven't worked hard for it, you're not clever enough, you're not savvy enough. That's why you are where you are. Well, hey ho, that's how it goes.
well, eggs are $9 a carton. Eggs are $9 a carton.
Wow.
Um, a two-bedroom apartment in this city is almost $2,600 a month.
Stop it, Joe.
These are real things.
Yeah.
People don't have that kind of money. The masses just don't have that.
No, they
Here in
don't.
the country, they're building houses. The billionaires buy up all the houses before they're even built so that they can make more and more renters. And this is all legal here, you see. And so there is no universal health care here. If you don't have money, you have to live and die with disease. That's the American way, and it's proving to be a horrible existence for millions and millions of Americans. The news media is polarized. There's left and there's right,
Mm,
and it keeps people divided and hateful of each other, so that we
mm,
never see each other as human beings. We see each other as different. Um, it's a it's a it's a it's very tough here. It's very tough to feel anything. And they want you numb. Um, you see the police violence, you see the gang violence, you see the racial intolerance, you see the animosity between the people is growing, uh, especially in our communities. It's completely different, and that's all by design. Our government in the 80s. made a whole community drug sick. The government used cocaine to fight an illegal war, and they put that in our communities. And they delivered crack to our neighborhoods and made millions of people dope sick. And then when they got dope sick, they locked them behind bars. And these are the generations now of these people that, were in the 80s, and now they have grandchildren that are
Mm.
affected. And it's just a big long line of destruction. And now these kids, they don't listen to music about love. They don't listen to music about peaceful resolution and conflict resolution. They listen to drill music, which is kill music. Um, the rappers are violent. The females are debaucherous. This isn't a way of life; it's a way of death, and that's being widely promoted, especially in our community. So there is all the entertainment is geared toward violent construct and
Mhm.
resolution, and it's not entertainment; it's training, and it's by the same people own it, the same people distribute it, and when people have nothing, they take a bag to do anything, and that's kind of what's happening here
Wow.
as a
You
nation. Not
just used a word just then that just stands out. You used the word training.
mm, yeah, it's so to the extent that I can, I try to make music that is positive. I believe in
Mm.
love, I believe in faith, and I believe in family, and that is,
Yeah.
and there just isn't enough. I'm just one guy, but there isn't enough of that, especially mainstream.
Because are you your music, there's very few of you. um there's loads of wonderful artists, but some of you bring me back to all those classics,
Yeah, well,
like just that feel. And I've been reading about you, and I can see why, you draw inspiration from people like Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, just Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Ella Fitzgerald. I can see why you draw, because you've put it all together. You've got all those influences all together, and you've just made you.
I grew up with all those influences, and those were people. All those artists were very politically active. Those were not just musicians. Everybody that you just mentioned were activists, and they made historic moves and changes to try to make the world better. Um, I grew up with a very well-rounded, uh, very eclectic musical background because my mom loved music and played a lot of records. I grew up in the church, so I heard a lot of gospel music, and I grew up when music was about love. It was about loving women and understanding each other and communities coming together. James Brown said, "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And I don't need nobody to give me nothing. Just open the door and give it me, let me get it myself." The music was activated. Marvin Gaye said, "What's going on?" And there were just, so many great records that talked about the struggle and brought people together. The OJ's Family Reunion, um, Al Green, just was amazing because
Mm.
he talked about, love and happiness and real things and the things that bring families together. Um, it's a different ball game now. The music is violent. The music is vulgar. The music is ratchet. Much of it. Um, I don't hate on different artists. I'm just talking about the subject matter and what the music
Mhm, mhm,
is. And it's not about family anymore. It's not about coming together. We don't address each other with loving terms. We address each other with derogatory terms. Even our women now are using different kind of derogatory terms to address each other and address them. Um, they have shows here where people dress up all fancy and sit on stage and curse each other out and fight each other and yell at each other, and they call that love. That's not love, but they call it love, hip hop, this, that, and the other. There's no love in that at all. But
mm.
that's what
That's
these kids are
disrespect.
believing that that's what this is. And now we have a whole generation of kids that eat that for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. And as you know, you are what you eat. And music is food, food for the soul. And they want our kids to be soulless and
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing a pretty good job of that.
You are so right because these shows are very addictive and everybody looks so glamorous, so glamorous. So what society calls beautiful, visually beautiful. And the young men and the young women are in awe of it, and the children as well. They're like, wow, I want to be like that. I want the money like they have. I want the look and the feel, and then they see that some of them get married and have partners, but those marriages and partnerships are not sustainable. They
Yeah,
don't realize what's going on behind the scenes. It's very actually dysfunctional.
very toxic. And that's
Hmm.
we have toxic TV, toxic radio, toxic movies, toxic video games. And that's fine because it's all aimed at our communities. They don't aim these toxic messaging at certain communities. They just aim it at ours. And that's what I think I despise the most. Because people, when you're poor and you have nothing, and someone offers you millions of dollars to be, to pull out and be exactly the rotten, most rotten part of yourself, and you take that bag because you need it and you flaunt it, and other kids grow up seeing that and they want to emulate that. Um, our jails are full. We have the largest prison population in the modern world here, and it's full of kids and young people that buy into crap and go out and do crimes and end up spending the rest of their lives behind bars over a 1 minute or 5 minute decision. So this is what the nation is here. It's what's become. There is no more Pledge of Allegiance. There isn't any more unifying effort. It's all about division, capitalism, dividing the nation, keeping the status quo so that these billionaires can even become more rich. I don't I don't begrudge rich people, but why does one person need $2 trillion or $800 billion, one individual, when there are people on the street starving, when there are people sleeping in the corners on the streets?
Yeah,
There's something wrong with that.
yeah, yeah.
And that's how I feel. I just
Mm,
speak for myself.
mm, mm, mm.
There, but the great
Mm,
praise God for His blessings for my family and the things that I've been able to do. I'm not a rich man, but I'm not sleeping in the streets. So it could be me. It could be you. It's just the grace of God that keeps us moving in a positive direction.
because when you came back from Japan originally after spending nearly a decade, you set up your own company, didn't you?
Well, I didn't.
Mm.
I couldn't work enough jobs to take care of my family. I didn't.
Mm.
I need a living. I tried to work. I tried to work. I was working 4 nights a week. I was working around the clock, 24 hours a day. I couldn't have enough jobs to take care of a family of five. And I quickly realized that, getting a job wasn't going to take care of me. I had to have a living. And once again, the Lord made a way for me to do that. I made some investments in Japan. I bought some property and it went up in value, and I was able to parlay that into a business and ride the storm of the 2008 collapse. We were able to ride that storm simply by the grace of God, and we're still sustaining. So it isn't easy. This isn't a place where you can do anything easy. There's a lot of hard work that goes into anything that you do, and I don't want to do anything but positive things. I don't believe in stealing. I won't lie to people. I'm not going to rob people. I'm not going to sell dope. I'm not going to do any of those things that bring harm to my community or to someone else's child or
Mhm,
else's community.
mhm, mhm,
But that's
mhm,
the way that most people think. Most people will do whatever they have to, whether it be dancing on a pole and or selling drugs or hustling. And I'm not knocking people for their choices, but these are what's being glorified in our communities. When you see the videos and you see the females that they put forward, these are terribly broken people that had very hard lives, and they convince these kids that that kind of lifestyle is how you make it. Um, it's sad. It really is. Here they glorify and mentally ill people, male and female, that have deep, deep, deep darknesses inside of them, but they're put in public and pushed up front. Like, look at me, I've made it. No, you haven't made it. What you're doing is you've made it to television. You've made it to be a beacon for other kids to emulate that kind of negative and false behaviors. And so when that is spoken about, when people try to stand up, then they're hammered like a nail into the wood and called crazy and called, all sorts of different kind of names. And it's just part of the poisonous retaliation that goes on here. Michael Jackson tried to tell us, Prince tried to tell us, they're both dead. Sam Cooke, you just name them. This is what they do to people who are woke and who are trying to make the nation better for other people. You don't end up with a voice. And that's how it rolls here. I have to, I'm at an age now where I have to tell the truth. It's, my truth sounds like hate. It isn't. It's just truth.
No. It's because you're awake. And once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep.
Well, when you say that, there are forces here that will call that hate. And they have a narrative, and they have a platform to embarrass you and to ruin you when you speak, you take the lead like that. And that's what happens here. They'll, anytime there's any, especially in our community, when someone tries to step up and lead by example and talk about positive things, they're immediately destroyed and canceled because they want our children, especially our children, to be leaderless and to be soulless and to provide nothing but destruction for our children in our communities. That's very profitable to them because they get all the money anyway. When we go out and buy the gold and the chains and the cars and the foreigns and all this stuff, it just goes right back to them. And that's the messaging, wealthy people don't wear their wealth on their necks. Wealthy people don't drive their wealth in cars. I know lots of very wealthy people, you would never know it, but that's not how they live. But in our community,
I've always said that wealthy people have nothing to prove.
Exactly. But this is what happens in our community. The car you drive, the drip you're wearing. It's really, really pathetic, and it's hurtful because so many kids are lost. We have more single mothers in our community than any community in the nation, and that's not a winning situation for the kids. It's just not. When I grew up, we had families, and after the civil rights struggle, the United States government decided to destroy the Black family, and they've done so systematically since because the Black families, we financed the civil rights struggle. Working families did that, and after that, not only did they murder Martin and Malcolm, but they destroyed the Black families with systematic racism and the systemic things that they did to make sure that if you were struggling, you couldn't get help unless there was no man in the house. This is how they did the welfare system. If you were when you needed your kids, you couldn't get that if there was a man in the house.
Yeah.
So
they did that over here as well.
Yeah. So these are all things that they did to destroy our families, to make to the man and the masculinity of the family, and it was a conscious decision to do so. And it you see the effect in the 80s. Like I said, in the 80s, our government released crack cocaine to the neighborhoods. We don't have any coca plants in the ghetto. They're all in other countries. But somehow all the drugs land in our community. They made laws to, if you were doing crack, the penalties were more stiff than if you were doing just regular cocaine. So that was because, white America did cocaine, but Black and Latino America was doing crack. So if you were hooked on crack, then you got a lifetime sentence. But cocaine, the sentencing was much different. So it's even then when they greenlit marijuana laws here, Now marijuana is legal in many states, and you can sell it. But most of the dispensaries, none of them are owned by people of color, and people of color are locked up on three strikes laws for life in prison for selling dime bags, and that's part of the game here. So nothing has changed. You asked me, had it gotten any better? No, it's gotten dramatically worse, and it's by design. It looks better. Modern technology has gotten better,
Mm,
uh,
mm,
but
mm,
the condition of the people has gotten dramatically worse.
yeah.
And
It's
we'll,
just a facade. It's just a facade now. It's just a glossary. Yeah,
yes,
but the pain, the issues is still very much there and actually has magnified.
absolutely. We went from a very elegant, multiracial president who spoke well and tried to say things to bring the country together to one of the most vile and willfully ignorant men that ever graced the White House. That was the answer to the hope and change that we thought we were going to get under one president turned into the Beverly Hillbillies on the next. And after him, we have what we have now, a guy who was very instrumental in locking up and vilifying Black America in the '90s is now president of the country. So this is what it is here. And these people are old. Their ideas are old. Their power is centuries long, and they don't want to give it up. And our country does not reflect the population. Our government doesn't reflect the population. It looks like a cream of wheat box, and that's by design. Because when you have real power and real power sharing, then you have laws that reflect that, and nothing changes here. It's rooted into the very fiber of this place. And I'm an independent artist because they don't sign artists like me now. They don't. You don't hear any music from people like Anita Baker or Stephanie Mills or any of our old or established artists. They're still here. Stevie Wonder. They're still making records. Yeah, they're older now, but you don't hear anything from them because they have their messaging doesn't provide a pathway to destruction, and you won't hear from them. They've taken all that away because your messaging doesn't provide a pathway to destruction. It has to do that. It has to be, uh, you know, what it has to be this vile construct in order to get the mass people to hear it and listen to, because they want to make sure that our kids, especially, go down this very self-destructive path. And the violence in our community is unfathomable. It's the kind of violence that takes place in our community on a daily basis here. So we have a lot of really desperate needs for leadership. Um, I pray that the Lord provide a pathway and make a move to change this, because it's going to take an act of God.
Really do. I really, we could all just take a moment and stand up in solidarity and just pray, just simply pray and just get the power of just that alone to help start something. Because, yeah, of recent times, especially very recent times, certain news that has come to the forefront is very extremely concerning. So,
Mm.
and you know, the self-hate that many of us have and perpetuating on each other is just no. It's got to stop. They you know, somehow, somewhere, there's got to be some solution somehow, somewhere, because it is terrible. I really do feel for the younger generation, who many of them are in denial of what's going on
Yeah,
until it will hit them when they get older, when they're
absolutely.
going to get a shock. They're
Yeah,
going to get a shock. They don't see it now. It's all fun and games. When they get to a certain age, it is going to hit them with a bam, just like it's hit a lot of women with a bam. They've got to a certain age and certain behaviors that they were demonstrating when they were younger has now caught up with them. And you know, and old age, I'm just going to put it just as it is because everybody's going to say, no, I'm not old, I'm not old. But old age is not looking very well for certain generations coming up.
It's true.
It's going to be a lonely place, very difficult, lonely place.
Yeah, and that's all by design. Um, it's designed, like I said, uh, to profit a very select few who profit mightily from this. Um, um, this is a place to where if it continues to go to where it's going, there'll be no net worth for any Americans that aren't millionaires. And that's exactly what's happening. They're taking life away from the people. And instead of focusing on ways to fix it, people are focused on hating each other because that's the
Yeah.
leadership. We have no leadership. And it really is, like I said, eggs are, $9 a dozen. That doesn't care what color your skin is. It's that for everyone. And
Mhm.
these are real issues. And unless the people are willing to put away willful ignorance and to recognize that the world isn't, non-melanated. Non-melanated people make up 6% of the world's population. And but if you're looking at the news media and you're watching television and movies, you think they run the whole planet, but it's just not the case. And othering of people, vilifying other countries, other nations, other languages is a very, very powerful tool. Television, movies are a very powerful medium. Radio is a very powerful medium. When you own the information, you can control the world
Yeah.
and what's going on. Um, it's
Yeah.
interesting dynamic. Um, um, Melanated peoples are the predominant people on this planet, but we're made to feel like a minority because we get our information from the same sources. Isn't that funny?
Radio stations.
Mm.
We need to pull together more radio stations. We have a responsibility to one another, to the public, to the artists, the independent artists.
Well,
There's so much. I've said it before on shows, on interview shows. There's so much of, oh, that artist is mine. I'm going to interview this artist. I'm not going to introduce them to nobody else. I want to look all inclusive. Like I've done all the lovely celebrities and everything. Nobody else. But you're not doing. They're not doing anybody any favors. There's no favors in that. You're not doing the artists any favors. The artists want the publicity. They want the exposure. That's what it's all about. So people can listen to their music, get to know them, and buy it because that's how it works. The
uh,
more that people listen, the more they buy it.
that's how it used to work. But even then, people in our communities were being very, very, they were being, misused, exploited.
Mm,
You've seen it time and time again. They've made dozens of movies about it, about all the creators of these art forms who died penniless and the people that, took their rights of their music and stole it and profited from it. It's an age old tale of greatness unappreciated. Um, Rock and roll, jazz, all these art forms were created by, you know, people of color. And the people that profited from it were just those who profited from it. They weren't the creators of this art form. They were the manipulators of the art form. And they created radio and they created record companies to give the people that were creating this platforms pennies and peanuts while they reap the benefits of it. And Lauryn Hill is a great example of that. Um, One of the most brilliant artists in my time was Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
And
yeah, very talented.
Education of Lauryn Hill was the greatest hip hop album I've ever heard now and ever. Um, but you saw what happened there. You know, she record companies, they took the lion's share of that magnificent profit margin that was on that record. They gave her peanuts, charged her, and ended up putting her in jail for tax evasion, and wouldn't let her out until she gave them another record. That's what they did to Lauren. Now they call her crazy.
Oh my
So
gosh.
generated $200 million and ended up in jail for tax evasion because they didn't give you enough money to pay your taxes. And that's what they do. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you don't understand the business, which most of these young people do not, and you get into bed with these people, then the outcome is that. And so it's been a very interesting experience for me as an artist. I am an independent artist. I spend my own resources to make these records.
Yeah.
I've never profited one penny from any record I've done. It's always been a labor of love and a very big expense. And I do it because I love it. I do it because I love the art form, and I want to leave a legacy of positivity behind. And I have a new album coming out here this month. We're trying to get people been waiting on it.
Mm-hmm.
A few of the releases: Inside You, Love Me to My Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 releases from a new album. And I'm going to finish up this album and release it at the end of the month. So I'm really excited about that. We'll be coming to England to promote the album, and I'm looking forward to that. And a shout out to my man Lee Drummond up in Luton. We're going to be up there with those good friends of mine and doing some work later on this summer, and hopefully lining up some other shows. So I'm working with some really cool people I met there that are serious about bringing us over and letting us move about the country and demonstrate love music.
So you're gonna be in the UK in June. June the when?
I'm going to be in the UK June the 23rd through the 27th. I'm going to be up in Super Western there. It's a weekender there, but we're also going to be having some more dates. We're working on there right now. I think we may be there for extended period if things go as according to plan. I'll have more updates for you, and I'll make sure that you get the information.
Please do, because I need to come and see you. We need to see you. We need to see you. We want to come and see you, Joe Leavy.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Because just listening to your voice live is gonna be like one of my dream come true. So that would be just awesome to be able to see you live and just say hello as well. I hope you say hello to me, little Adassah at large.
well, Adassah, you are at large, and what a great time I've had just sitting here and discussing things with you. We talk about life. We didn't talk a whole lot about music, but sometimes things are more important than art, and life is more important than art, especially when life is imitating art. That's why it's important to put positivity in the music.
Yes.
At least that's how I feel.
And one of the songs is Let It Go going to be on your album as well, Joe?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Because we're going to play Let It Go, let everybody hear. And that is one of the songs that you were promoting while you was out there in Japan of this year as well.
Yes.
Oh.
Pure jazz record, produced by my good friend Steve Hanneman, who's also featured on that record. He's a brilliant multi-instrumentalist. He's all the instruments on that record, and in the video he's playing the flugelhorn, which he provided on the actual track. So he's a brilliant friend. We've been friends for 30 years. He lives in Japan.
Brilliant.
Shout out. Just a pleasure to go over and hang out with him and do that music with him. It was a lot of fun.
And your new album, because we're going to play Let It Go. Your new album, what's this? Are you just going to put it on vinyl?
I'm thinking about doing a vinyl release only because I don't make any money from streaming.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to do some pre-sales with this, so I'm hoping that I can get a few thousand of my fans to purchase a vinyl record. It'll be a classic. It'll be pressing, and you'll have something that's absolutely amazing and that everybody doesn't have. So that's what we're going to see about doing before we think about streaming it, because streaming it doesn't benefit me at all. It just benefits the streaming services, and
Yes, yes.
we want to try to find a different way to reach our fans.
Well, I tell you, with the vinyls coming back again, there'll be loads of DJs just so happy that it's coming back on vinyl, because I'll certainly get it. I've got my record player. I've got my do you know,
Yep.
and they'll be so happy because that is just coming right back, that sound that you can never get on CD or, downloading it. You can never get that sound, that crisp sound that you get from a vinyl. I remember the days of the vinyl when I was younger, and it it's just got a different feel, a different sound. It's Oh, beautiful. So to get your album on vinyl, I'll be first in the line. I'm
Oh,
I'm I'm waiting.
thank
Just
you.
let me know the release date.
Keep you posted. We're working on it.
Keep me posted. We're gonna go on and play Let It Go. We're gonna play the video of Let It Go. Let everybody see. And then when we come back, we can just catch up on where you're gonna be, what more plans, what you're gonna do,
Okay.
and where we can find you
I'll
on
say.
the social media platforms.
Dark of night will soon be gone. Morning light will bring the dawn. When your night's as bright as day, you will know you're on your way. Turn around, you will find endless beauty of your mind. Plant the seed and watch it grow. Now is the time to let your troubles go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it wash away. Like the river flows, gonna let it go. Let it wash over you. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it wash away. Like the river flows, gonna let it go. Let your troubles wash away. By my faith, the mountain moves. Without your love, what does that prove? All the clever words of truth don't mean a thing if I ain't got you. I need you here, hope you'd see. I dream that you'd be here with me. Hope to find I need to know. Show me the way to let my trouble go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it wash away. Like the river flows, gonna let it go. Let it wash over you. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it wash away. Like the river flows, gonna let it go. Now's the time to make things right. Don't give up, keep up the fight. You'll be safe all through the night. When you wake up to the morning light, turn around and you will see what it feels like to be free, 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 free. Let it wash away from you.
That's what I call classy music, Joe Leavy.
Thank,
That's quality music.
thank you. Appreciate that.
We are here to change the game. We are here to change the game and bring back love, class, sophistication back to the forefront.
We're doing
And
our
I'm
best.
saying, we are doing it. Even my 14-year-old son loves it.
All right. That's a good thing.
He loves it. He loves it. He texts me, and when I was doing my show on Friday, I do a Soul City show. He texts me, Mum, I got it on my phone here. Mum, Mum, you're doing great. Love it.
A good thing. Very blessed.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything I ask God for.
Yeah, you
Everything and more.
wonderful.
So, some of the younger generation are appreciating these quality, beautiful music. They are. So, let's let's keep the change. Let's keep it. And what else can we expect on the album? Joe?
Soul on Fire is the title track of the album. And Soul on Fire is actually a gospel record.
Mm-hmm.
But this record has everything. It has gospel, R&B, jazz, what you just heard,
Mm-hmm.
soul music. It's going to have some beautiful covers. We did a cover on Deja Vu. We did a cover on George Benson and Aretha Franklin. Cover for Love All the Hurt Away with my good friend Robin Joy Monk. We've got a lot of really great music. All of it has great messaging. And I'm really excited about this new album. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come and perform this. And
Pure quality. We got Deja Vu in the background. Can you hear it just subtly in the background? I'm going to bring it to a little forefront. I'm going to tease the audience right now. Adassah is a real tease sometimes. Hey. This is Deja Vu.
that's right.
How can it be? We're a different space and time.
I keep telling the listeners, don't come to me, especially I'm doing a Valentine's special on Friday. Don't come to me for child maintenance when you make all these babies. Listening to the show.
You, baby, yeah, shining through the sky. Dream of loving you, yeah, yeah. I keep remembering me. I keep remembering you. Deja vu, yeah. This is divine. I've been waiting for so long.
Everybody that knows me knows that Adassah loves dancing. I love dancing to everything. I love dancing. To compensate, don't get out very much. So, dance at home, dance anywhere I can dance. Wherever there's a dance floor, I'll be there.
Come with me now. We don't have to dream of love. We know how. Somewhere before, it's as if I loved you so long ago. You're my dream lover, baby. Dream love, dream love. Deja vu, baby. Let it be my dream. Ooh, lady, lady, lady. I keep on dreaming. I keep remembering you. Deja vu. Ooh, yeah. I can feel you. Deja vu. Girl, I think I love you. You're my dream love. I'm waiting, baby. I'm gonna make sweet love in this dream with you, baby. Yeah, can you see it? Oh, sometimes
Oh, that is sheer quality. Joe! Joe, what are you doing to us? Wow. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Put it out there on final. Yes. That is awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
that.
Nafu. Very smooth. Very, very, very smooth. Yeah. Yeah, we love it. We're going to be getting it. And please do, honestly, just let me know um, where you're going to be in the UK when you come over, all the dates, wherever it is, so we can help support it.
Thank you.
So, you
I will
know,
do- As we're going to be getting some dates in here pretty soon. We're working on adding some more shows around the country. We want to come to England. We want to come to London. We want to go to Luton. We want to go to Manchester. We want to go to Kent. We want to get around, up to Nottingham. We want to get around all the places that we can to touch as many people as we can. So we're actually working on that idea right now, and hopefully we're going to be able to do that.
and there is a massive audience that appreciates quality that will come to the events. You know, they will come, they'll pay their money, they'll come and watch you, because this is what we want. We want to bring back romance, we want to bring back true love, respect, honor, to with one another. There's some work that needs to be done though. But there's work that needs to be done, but that is the calling. That is what we want, for sure. And music is very, very powerful, as you know already. You know that already. Extremely powerful. It touches on the fringes of politics as well, all sorts. And when you can just soften people's heart like that and get everybody connected, especially amongst our people really do get united when it comes to music.
They do, and we're going to try to, deliver. So I appreciate you having me on. I want to
Hmm.
thank you for this time with you. It's been absolutely amazing, and
Thank
definitely worth the early rise. Thank
oh,
you for getting me up so early this morning, but I really have enjoyed this amazing opportunity. I had to say you're a wonderful host and a lovely lady, and I appreciate you supporting my music. Thank you.
thank you so much, Joe Leavy. Joe Leavy, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We'd have you anytime again, especially after your album, so we can help, you know, promote it and get it out there. We'd have you anytime again
Look
on
forward
the platform. It'd be a pleasure, absolute pleasure.
to you get on the early release list.
Yeah, oh, please do.
Absolutely.
Please do. Yeah. I hope you have a good night's sleep as well.
Thank you. My bad.
Get some rest, get some beauty sleep. It's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful meeting you, Joe, and talking to you and getting to know about the man behind this wonderful voice and beautiful music. everybody. This is Joe Leavy. Joe Leavy, would you like to say thank you to anyone? Where can we find you before we part?
You can find my music all over all over social media, YouTube, but you can find my website at joelevy.com. I want to send a shout out to Derek DOA Allen and Lou Lang, Steve Heineman, Ivan Johnson, my producers, and to my family, and to all the DJs that have been supporting me over the years, including you, Miss Adassah. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the UK this summer. And we'll be able to connect for real. I look forward to shaking some hands and giving some hugs and entertaining some people.
Oh, you would see me definitely. Once I know you're here, I'm coming. I'm
Right.
coming. I'm getting my ticket. I'm coming.
Thank you so much. God bless everyone.
God bless you. God bless you. That's the wonderful Joe Leavy. Joe Leavy. Wow. What a beautiful man with great insight and a lot of messages to put out there, about love, about unity, about respecting one another. Wow, that's a lot to digest. But ever so awesome. Man full of knowledge, a man that just loves God, loves his family, loves his music, and there to share it with us. And we really appreciate it. We embrace it with open arms. So, next week, this time, what will be happening? We'll be having a Valentine's special on the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. Oh, yes. A Valentine's special. It's going to be a reggae version. Oh, for all you reggae lovers rock fans. Oh, yes. We have. I'm declaring it now. Peter Spence with Alicia Mack. That's next week, the 12th of February. So put it in your diaries. Make it a date. And don't be late. That's Peter Spence. Alicia Mack. Next week, this time, 11 a.m. UK time. On the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. Be there. Be there. It's going to be, so jamming for all you Lovers Rock fans and more. And those that don't know Lovers Rock, come along. Come along. You're going to love it. Love it, because love is in the air. Next week, love is in the air. So if you thought love was in the air today with all this lovely, beautiful music from Joe Leavy, we are going to get it on down next week. Thank you all for tuning in to the Adassah at Large on Sunday show with our great guest, Joe Leavy. Talented man, absolutely awesome. And we're going to leave the show with I Heart You, a song that Joe Leavy actually wrote about his wife. Oh, yeah. When he was coming back into the music, he wrote this song. So I'll part with that. And all I can say is take care of yourself, as always, and take care of each other. Bye for now. I'll leave you with the sounds of I Heart You. Joe Leavy. Bye for now.
There's something I need to tell you. I can't get you off of my mind. There's just something about you. You're like a sweet, soft surprise. Your smile gets me high. You take my breath away. My mind is open wide. What more can I say? I heart you. I heart you. Yeah. When we spend time together, feels like you know me for years. You're slowly breaking down my defenses. You're wiping away all my fears. Smile gets me high. You take my breath away. My mind is open wide. What more? What more? I heart you. Yeah. I heart you. Oh, 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 oh. I heart you. Yeah. I heart you. Yes. Beautiful lady. Yeah. With you I see forever. Seems like you've known me for years. Breaking down my defenses. I'm wiping away all your fears.